This is Sailing's weekly highlights show, The World on Water, May 9th, 2025. These videos have been released in the past 7 days. The World on Water has uploaded. Disappointed to miss out on winning the 2024 circuit title after coming into the last event of the season in Valencia with a solid points lead, Tony Langley's world champions Gladiator crew started their assault on the 2025 title on the best possible footing as the 52's SUPER Series Saint-Tropez Sailing week opened with 2 excellent races on the Gulf of Saint Tropez.
Welcome back to Saint-Tropez, second day of the 52's SUPER Series Saint-Tropez Sailing week. No racing yesterday, unfortunately, because there was no wind at all. Forecast is much better today. We're hopeful of getting 2 races away. Let's go on the water. So after 2 general recalls, the fleet really is quite nervous for the third start. Wind is at 205 degrees, about 8 to 9 knots. It looks to be a great start from Preveza, which is bow out early on. Gladiator to get to the right early on the upwind, but disastrously for Preveza. They are judged to be UFD and they're disqualified and have to sit the race out. Top mark is Gladiator leading actually quite comfortably. Allegri round in second, Crayola in third, American Magic in fourth, Gladiator jibe set. Up the second upwind will American Magic recognise a little bit of extra pressure and a shift on the left, get themselves through Paprec through the finish line. It's a win for Gladiator. American Magic get second and Paprec, the French team, get third. No significant delay. The second race gets underway. The breeze at 195 degrees, a little bit further to the left. About 8 knots of wind pressure on the start line. Nice start from Alpha Plus. Gladiator a little bit slow off the line, but get out to the right early. Round the top mark, Alpha Plus leading. Gladiator second. Sled in third place. That's the order round the course. Alpha Plus getting the race win. Gladiator gets second. Sled third. Paprec fourth. So after 2 races, Gladiator leading after a first and a second to get 3 points. Second, Alpha Plus, fifth and a first for 6 points. Third, Sled, 7 points for their fourth and third. And a French team, Paprec, in fourth place with a 3 and a 4.
A light northeasterly breeze on a warm, sunny day set the scene for the 2025 Pittwater to Coffs Harbour Yacht Race start off Barrenjoey Headland at 1 p.m. today, with mono and multi-hull boats of all sizes and weights, inclusive of 2-handed entries, vying for line, overall and division wins in the 39 SUP R equals X slow TH SUP edition of the 226 nautical mile East Coast Classic.
Well, it was some of the funkiest weather conditions that I've ever seen in 40-odd years of sailing. And we committed very early to going out east, and there were times there where we thought, golly, this is a little bit crazy, but in the end it all worked very well, and the crew held together, and here we are, first here.
Firstly, I'd like to thank the crew because they were fantastic and we had so much giggle, laughter and carry on. It was just like really good camaraderie, great cheer on the boat, even when we were finding ourselves in windless holes, which we tend to find everyone on the racetrack. Other than that, it was the best time I think I've ever had on an ocean race.
When it first started, I thought, for God's sake, it's going to be a repeat of last year. But luckily enough, a few of the fellas went and chased the breeze and they filled in and we had some good finishes. And I think everyone enjoyed the race up there, even though they had a bit of everything, which is yacht racing.
We had one bowman that pretty much did everything, Ali Hunter, who's probably the best bowman I think I've ever gone to sea with, and the hardest working person. So he did all the physical work, and then we would do the easy things like steer and discuss where to go.
I was nicknamed the snack man in the end, or the Labrador.
He was just trying to eat food all the time.
Hitting a few rain squalls, and then the old reality of this offshore racing and how tricky it can actually be sort of set in. And then you started questioning what we were doing out there when we were sometimes going backwards. We did a little bit of a 360 unintentionally out there. But you know, you took the good with the bad, and as you do with sailboat racing, and we made it. Yeah, I think so. As a team, we were all pretty happy, I'd say.
The Genie took a commanding lead on a very tricky opening day of the 2025 5.5 Metre Alpen Cup at Fraglia Vela Riva on Lake Garda, Italy. Aspire ends the day in second with girls on film in third. The race wins went to Artemis, Aspire and the Genie.
Well, you know what they say, they always say it's not normally like this. Well, it isn't normally like this in Lake Garda. There was quite a lot of mist over the lake this morning, and so the sea breeze really never kicked in, and when it did, it was quite left, and so it was as clear cut as a normal get to the cliffs and see how you do. But it was a good day's racing. You know, we had anything from sort of 10 up to 14 knots. Good day for us, we were pretty happy. Rory Scott was pretty adamant about what he wanted to do and which way we wanted to go, so sometimes we took some pain at the start. Gave away quite a lot of bias on the first race in order to get to the right, and initially after the start it looked pretty horrible, but you know, Lake Garda is one of those places that if you believe in getting into the cliffs, then you've just got to get into the cliffs. But it was interesting that the pressure was a cold breeze, and the lighter left-handers was warm breeze, and you could actually feel the shift coming by the temperature change rather than seeing it. So it was I mean, what a fantastic place to sail, but tough.
Great day. This is my second day of 5.5 metre racing. One was in the Solent, second one in Garda, second one is a definite upgrade. Great little fleet, really competitive, lovely breeze as usual down here. Loving it, so looking forward to 2 more days. I mean, they're all sort of subtly different, but you can kind of I'm learning that you can mode them quite differently, and so for me, just kind of jumping in and learning a new boat is great, so interesting. Some old mates here as well to chinwag afterwards, so great day of boating.
From the Baltic to the Adriatic, 7 iconic cities, one race connecting Europe through sport, passion, and purpose. Antigua, May 1st, 2025, was all about the youth sailors at Antigua Sailing Week on Day 4, Falmouth Ocean Club Y2K Race Day. Racing at this year's Antigua Sailing Week is so close that 1/3 of the classes started the penultimate day with boats tied on points at the top of their respective leaderboards.
Ever since I was introduced into sailing, something about it just caught my attention, and now I just want to become a professional sailor.
Antigua Sailing Week and the Y2K program is a perfect partnership, and it's where we try to pair our youth sailors with the sailors who are participating in Sailing Week.
The Y2K program really allows youth to meet new sailors. In this sailing world, it's good to have connections and build bonds with different boats.
Antigua is full of young, very good sailors. We have Isaiah, we're lucky to have him. Not only does he bring his skill and his passion to our boat, he also brings local knowledge.
It targets children from ages 14 to 25. This year we have over 20 persons participating.
I always in for youth to participate on Kialua. If they trained or not, it doesn't really matter. Many tasks on board, but it's good muscles also for grinding.
Since my son has been involved, I have seen a lot of growth, the confidence, the teamwork skills, partnership, and willingness to compromise.
Isaiah is usually mid-bow and bow assist, always shows up early, stays late, helps the whole crew with prepping the boat. As I said, it's a real joy to have him. He's a very passionate sailor with high aspirations, and there's no reason he won't achieve those.
This is solo sailor Jakob on board his 5.8-meter home, who has 100 miles to go before his Hiver OA arrival in the Marquesas.
Hi folks, this is Jacob from BVI of Cork. Today, according to UT time, it's 0300, the 1st of May. So, first of all, Jasmine, happy birthday to you. I remember. And secondly, I have 110 miles to go. And my goal was to get there before the sunset. So that means it's still bright. That means I have exactly 24 hours to do the 110 miles. Statistically, according to the last few days, that should be pretty easy. However, the last 100 miles, I don't have enough current, and looks like the wind is dying a bit, so it might be a challenge. However, we are here for the challenge, aren't we? So hopefully, tomorrow in the evening, I will have a cold pint in my hand before the sunset. Fingers crossed.
It was the first day for the Maxi fleet. 2 races completed under perfect conditions with 12 to 15 knots on the race course. Magic Carpet E took the lead at the 21st Sandberg Palma Vela. making what proved to be the decisive winning move on the final run of the second and final race today. Britain's Tony Langley and his world champion crew secured overall victory at the first regatta of the 5-event 2025 52's Super Series season, the 52's Super Series Saint-Tropez Sailing Week.
Beautiful Sunday morning here in Saint-Tropez. It's the last day of racing in the 52's Super Series Saint-Tropez Sailing Week. At the top of the table, Gladiator leading by 3 points. 3 races we're hoping for, but let's see what happens. Let's go racing. Hopefully. Well, after what seems an age of waiting, race number 3 gets away in a breeze of 0.55, about 7 knots on the start line. A very, very even start. No immediate bias off the line, and really up the first beat. Well, Alcedo do really quite nicely. They start very well, and then really it's in the top third. The approach to the windward mark is really key. Alcedo got round first, Sled second, Allegra third, and that really is the order all the way through the race. The Italian team Alcedo joining the Super Series for their first ever regatta, get a race win in race 3. Through the line second are Sled, Allegra in third, and going into the final race it's all tied at the top between Gladiator and Sled on equal points. So the big deciding race, race number 4, little bit more wind pressure but some blue skies off the start line. Well, it's a pretty even start. Sled, Gladiator and Alpha Plus all go out to the right. American Magic do really nicely up the middle of the course. They give themselves a nice lane and get some good speed. They lead round the top mark, Preveza second, Sled around the top mark in third. Gladiator are quite deep, and it all goes down to the second run. Sled and Gladiator split. Gladiator come back at Sled on starboard and force Sled to go back out to the right, and that proves to be the winning move for Gladiator. For the regatta, American Magic get through in first, winning the race. Preveza second, through in third are Gladiator, Sled in fourth. So after just 4 races in Saint-Tropez, top of the table, winning the first regatta of the season is Gladiator on 12 points. Second are Sled, missing out by a single point on 13, and third, American Magic on 18 points.
Offshore racing with the Royal Ocean Racing Club returned to Europe with the Cervantes Trophy race. This 110 nautical mile race takes place over the May Bank holiday weekend and traditionally marks the first domestic event of the Royal Ocean Racing Club Seasons Points Championship, the world's largest offshore racing series.
We just started the Cervantes Trophy. We're doing quite well. Super light breeze, but loves it. So everyone's switched on and going fast.
Our goal is to do as well as we can as a team. The boat has been shown that it can do quite well in this race. I believe it won last year. Provided we get everything right, we make good calls on sail changes and nav, there's no reason why we shouldn't do really well on this race.
I love two-handed sailing, the challenge it gives, the freedom you have, and the kind of coordination between the two of you, it kind of gives that buzz to me. And so yeah, this year back in two-handed for another fastnet. It's all going to be about performance. We're obviously on the race course. It's a hyper-competitive fleet in the double-handed and the fully crewed too.
Tricky conditions. We see not much wind, but we like 2 to 5 knots and doing quite good on the A1, and we expect later a fast race because the wind is picking up.
And here we are in the lovely Solent, all sort of here to prepare and train up for the Admiral's Cup. We brought the boat over already in November, and then in January started quite a bit of maintenance on the boat. But the whole idea was to have it ready for the Easter Challenge, then do Cervantes, Lith of Malum, the IRC Nationals, Morgan Cup, and then the Admiral's Cup, to really sort of to step by step train up and understand and get better understanding of the Solent. And it's all about learning and perhaps getting used to somewhat colder water.
I think it's pretty exciting, really. First big offshore race of the year. And it's like, yeah, out of 100 boats to win it, we saw the conditions and we knew it was going to be one for our boat, like 3,300. So we just knew we had to send it. And that's what we did.